Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Directors Club podcast. I'm Noelle, and most of you know that. I am about to kick off a series of all brand new podcasts. So I appreciate you listening, and I'm excited to be sharing some of the topics with you. It's on all the things I work on at my own childcare center because I am an active director just like yourself. I today wanted to share with you the 5 things I'm updating at ScribbleTime this summer. We are working through what we typically do every single summer to prepare for the school year. And all too often, when I work with directors and coach them, we all do the same things. We update things, we want to update things, and we don't. But one of the big things is really implementing. How do you get all these updates you want to do? How do you do them? And then next, how do you get the team to do them? How do you get them to understand all that as well? Today's podcast is all about exactly how we're updating things and how we're going to integrate it into the center. Number 1 of the 5 things I'm updating is the child development support process. My sister and I should back up a little bit. First, I want to share with you that we reflect ourselves on what we want to change for the school year. And then we share it with each other. And we kind of make a plan of what we're going to update. This is the 5 that we came up with that we thought we could do this summer and really improve the new school year. The first one, like I was saying, is child development support. This is an area that we've decided to take all of our processes to observe a child, how to support them in the classroom, when do we refer them to the director to look at? When do we refer them to the parent to say, we think we need a referral? We also incorporate into this observations of our team and our curriculum implementations. It's kind of like really the service that you offer, right? Is we offer childcare service. So that's like the framework of what we're looking at this summer, that whole child development framework at the program. We are taking all of our referral observation resources and we're just freshening them up a little bit, seeing what makes sense. We haven't changed them in 3 or 4 years. So we're really looking at that. Not only are we looking at that of the forms, but then we're like writing the process to fill them out, how to get to when is it time to refer a child? We kind of went through the whole step of you notice something in the classroom, you observe, talk to your program director, talk to your supervisor, whoever manages you, and then literally goes right all the way up to the parent meeting and then maybe even early intervention services. We're kind of defining that whole process for them and clarifying a little bit. And this is a process we would like to talk about with the team and train them on a little bit more. And we're also going to introduce a collaborative response to a teacher wanting support for a student or a teacher noticing something. We're going to introduce a new collaborative resource for the teachers to get some more answers and some help with supporting the child in the classroom dynamics when you are dealing with behaviors, support children that are developmentally delayed or just need a little bit more support in something. That's the process we're going to look at. This should not take us long because we already have a system in place. We're just freshening it out and really creating a training resource, not only for the team, but also for the leadership team. Because as you know, as a director, if you're an owner or a director with an assistant director, the more you document how to do something, the easier it is to pass that task on to somebody else and have it consistent. Anytime we're doing something like this for the educators, we're also updating it for the leadership team because as I'm not 100%, I'm not responsible for the day-to-day duties at my center. I'm there almost every day, but I also work on the Directors Club. We have a second location and we're buying a building and renovating it. I am not 100% at the center every day. I need to do these things if I want the center operating just my sister and I want it. All right, the second thing that we're updating, which most of you are too, is probably the parent handbook. We're adding a few resources to it. I've also added to the July staff meeting that I would like to ask them, the teachers, if they have a policy or a procedure that they wish was in there or one that they don't think needs to be in there, we're just going to collaborate. I'm going to read off some of what's in the handbook. I'm not going to read the policies, just like the headlines to spark the conversation. I'm going to just talk about drop offs, pickups, personal belongings, the behavior, child development whole process, and just get some feedback from them. With that feedback, we're going to update the parent handbook, re-release it by the end of the year. It doesn't need a whole revamp. And while I'm talking about parent handbooks, you can go to the show notes of this podcast, or if this is on YouTube, you can go into our show notes there. And I'm hosting on July 15th a free parent handbook workshop. Feel free to sign up for that. In that, we're going to be talking about updates we're making. This is a parent handbook. It's a 107-page parent handbook that you're going to get for attending. And during that workshop, when you get that handbook, you can use that. It's going to be a Word document, so you can use it any way you want except to sell it. This is not a handbook that we got from AI. It's one that we actually use at our center, Eastern. Join us on July 15th. In the show notes, you're going to find a link to that. All right, the third thing that we're updating is classroom procedures. What we've decided to update for this year is, if you've taken my binder course, the student binder. Every classroom in my center has a student binder. And so we're going to refresh that student binder for them. We're going to create a checklist of what's expected to be in there. One of the things in there is student observations. We are also going to give them a cheat sheet on expectations of observations and how you utilize those in your curriculum. So that's a piece that we're going to create. And then that's it for that. The fourth thing is leadership resources. Again, as we're building these pieces out, so as I'm updating the child development, as I'm updating the classroom procedures, I'm also building the leadership resources for that, because I don't want to forget that. I don't want that to slip. I don't want to hand over a new policy to an assistant director without exact expectations, even if they are going to go do it fine, totally fine. You need to have it documented. Trust me. And then I'm also going to create a resource for the leadership team of what they are expected to do for an employee all year, from observations to check-ins. So we're re-update that in a clearer way for them. I actually think I'm going to use AI and use the graphic image that it creates and make like a visual of the employee management cycle at ScribbleTime and the expectations that we have. And then we're just going to work on that for them. And then the fifth thing is, we have systems that are never finished. We have a framework for child development, curriculum, observations, classroom management, and we have it all in pieces. And we both keep saying all these years, we have a name for the whole system, but we keep saying, we're going to document that. We're going to pull it all together with a cohesive message. That's what's going to happen. We're doing it. We actually started it. I'm so excited. These are the 5 things we want to kick the summer off with. How am I getting them done? I am booking, if I can, 1 full day in my home office to work on these projects. I don't believe it's going to take me a ton of time to do this, except for the last one, the system one. That's probably going to take me a day or 2 to finalize. But for the most part, I'm like writing, updating things, creating like how I'm going to present it at the staff meeting. Try and set aside maybe a day at home if you can, or a day in your office with your door shut. And then every single day, set aside 1 to 2 hours for this. You are going to thank yourself at the end of the summer when you have this all set. Make the time. That's the first thing. So 1, make the list of the 5 things or however many things you have, and don't do 500 things. Be reasonable with yourself, because it's a summer. You don't have all year, right? It's only a few weeks. Make your list, do the time, set the time on your calendar like it's a tour. And the third thing I want to tell you is that, how are you going to get all of this? I could walk around the center and hand out, oh, here's the new observation form for the children. I could have it at a quick staff meeting and just say, oh, here's the new observation form. I want to be more intentional with that. But at the end of every summer, most centers will shut down for professional development day to get ready for the new school year. Instead of just doing that, we actually do that on a Friday. The Friday, we do it before Labor Day. The Friday before Labor Day, we close. That's the day the teachers are like switching all the kids' records, the files, all the different classroom stuff that moves around. They reset the classroom up, rename all the cubbies, all get all the children welcomed, right? Then what happens is it doesn't leave you a lot of time to have meetings, to train. So we close down at noon on the Thursday before. And so we get 1.5 days together. The half day is for us. And that is all about collaborating, learning, reinforcing things. So on Thursday from 1, it's going to be 1 to 5 because the center closes at noon. At 1 o'clock, everyone's going to come to, we have a hall right near us that we use. We'll go in there. We are going to talk about the child development process, the new updated policy that we've written. We're also going to create our classroom management binders together. We're going to introduce, that was 1. 2, we did the parent handbook. So if we're going to change any policies and procedures, we're going to update the team then. 3, classroom procedures. We are introducing a planning procedure for curriculum to help support the teachers and the substitutes in the classroom. We will spend some time there training them, giving them the forms. We're not going to spend any time on leadership resources because this meeting typically is about the educators. And then the 5th thing is we'll introduce the framework resource. Now, this framework that we've built for them around curriculum and all the things is nothing new. They know all the pieces of it. We're just going to formalize the message together and really show them that support. And we're just going to visually show it to them in a way that they understand the support that they get from the directors. Let me just go over that again. As most of you do, we reflect on how the school year went and decide how we want next school years to be. My things around policy and procedures. One year we did loose parts. We added loose parts into the center. So like they spent the whole summer on. Other years we've spent it doing other programs. It could be anything. It could be little or big, whatever your things are that you want to update at your childcare center. Then we make time on our schedule. You have to make time on your schedule. You have to plan it. You have to act like it's the most important meeting, like the licensors coming in, because if you don't protect that time, this stuff doesn't get done and you always have it on your list. And then the third thing is, how are you going to kick off the school year with your team understanding what your vision is and all the things you're implementing? And that's a great way to spend, if you can get a half of a day, 2 hours, whatever, before the school year, not eating into classroom prep time, but that time to just set the message for the year, what you expect as a director, how you want to support your team, how encouraging them to really fresh start in the classroom, reminding them that the kids probably are at a younger age. We graduate all our kids up now. And your toddler room, just 2.9-year-olds just left the toddler room for preschool, and you're right back at having those infant kids in your room. Really setting expectations and then really collaborating with the team and asking them for what support they need to kick the year off. And that really think about how you can plan now. It's the beginning of the summer. How can you plan how you want next school year to go and work with your team to get it done? Thanks for listening. Again, I want to remind you that I do have a workshop for parent handbook. You can come anytime, July 15th. It's July 15th from 1 to 2 p.m. And in that, we are giving away a parent handbook. It's a 107-page parent handbook. I was just trying to see if I could find you guys the resource that, here we go. I have a little thing. There we go. So that is the workshop, July 15th. And we're also going to collaborate at that and talk about all the different policies. And you can ask questions. That's what the greatest thing about a collaborative community is at the Directors Club. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. And I hope you tune in next week because another great topic. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.